Hey, okay, so I'm here in the DGA, Directors Guild of America, and I told you to find something or someone interesting to talk to. I found Debra Wilson.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm
Hi,
good.
Okay, so Debra Wilson is the writer-director of Jumping the Broom and also the writer-director of Butch Mystique.
Yes.
So Debra, tell us about being a filmmaker. How did you get these two projects off the ground, and and tell us about the third project you're here at Outfest for.
All right. Well, my first project, which was Butch Mystique, came about because I had attended a conference in Atlanta, and they had a breakout session on Butch women, and so I sat in, and about midway through, they were like, "What are you doing in here?" And I was just there to gather information, And so they kind of asked me to leave in a nice Butch-like way. And so I left. And so I vowed that I'm a filmmaker, and I vowed that I'm going to do a documentary on Butch women. I couldn't sit in there and find out what they were talking about. It was very frustrating to me.
So this particular meeting was just for Butch women?
No. It was for lesbians of color, black lesbians actually.
Okay.
It was put on by Zuna Institute.
Yeah.
And so it was for, but that particular session was
For Butch women.
Identified lesbians.
Okay.
And I just thought, cool.
They clearly did not identify you as Butch.
They didn't see it that way.
Right.
And so from there, that's how. So over a course of like a year and a half, almost 2 years, I made Butch Mystique, and because I paid for it out of my own pocket.
You did. So how did you get your first? There's a series of women you follow in the film.
Yes.
How did you connect with them? How hard or easy was it to get them to be on camera?
It was challenging to get them on camera. I met them in various ways. Like I asked other people if they knew which women I should interview. One woman, Kimberly, who plays the flute, I stopped her at a Walgreens. I saw her and I just literally stopped her in the parking lot. I said, "Excuse me, I'm doing this documentary. Would you be interested in being in it?"
Right.
So there were various ways I went about finding which women. Yeah. But it ended up being a really good group of women. So out of the maybe 10 or 12 women I interviewed, I narrowed it down to, I think it ended up being like 4 or 5 women. So that made the cut. So it was a good experience. And then from there, I had submitted to Showtime, part of their Black Filmmaker Showcase.
Okay.
And I won. Ironically, I won. I thought it was just going to be water cooler, chat.
Right.
Amongst the people who viewed the case. And
right.
It became more than that. And
so what do you win when you win this?
So you win $30,000. We won a $30,000 grant.
Wow.
And go on to make a follow-up film that is also aired on Showtime.
Okay, so what was your follow-up film?
So my follow-up film was Jumping the Broom, The New Covenant, about gay marriage in African American
how was it working with Showtime?
They were nice. And like I said, they pretty much let me do whatever. I did get notes. So as we got closer, they did give me notes. And I pushed back a little bit because there were some things I didn't agree with. And what we did was, instead of making the changes, we cut it in a way they didn't even notice. That was the funny part.
Right. They're like, oh, yeah, great.
They're not going to work at all. And
right.
We just kind of
buffed it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was fine.
And so, what was the response to Jumping the Broom?
It's been a good response. I just think it's a topic that Black people aren't that embracing of. Like, they don't care one way or another if we get a proper take goes through, or so it's just a totally different film. I think it's an important film because it's out there and our viewpoint is out there, but it hasn't been received like Butch Mystique in terms of, oh yeah, Prop 8 hasn't been knocking on my door saying, oh, we really want to show your film to the African American community.
Which would have been an awesome vehicle, I thought.
Yeah, you think they would do that?
Didn't work it. Yeah, a lot of commentary about Prop 8, though, sort of organizing around it, it wasn't organized. It wasn't bringing all the communities together who have an opinion.
No. And I made a film that was the perfect talking point to it. And I specifically made it. It's not really for the gay community. It's really for the Black straight community. That's what I really made. Who I'm really made for.
Right.
And it wasn't used in that way. So in that way, I'm kind of disappointed.
Right.
And there was a real opportunity for the people of Prop 8 to really use it in the way it was intended to be used.
Right. Right.
And I think it would have, made an impact. I had a matter of fact, I had dinner with a cousin of mine last night, and he's like Christian, you know, about to become a deacon. And he said, he goes, you know what, I voted against Prophet because, you know, no one gave me a good enough argument. He goes, I would have voted yes. I would have voted no. Or,
Right.
you know, and I think that was the other thing. It was very confusing.
It was confusing, wasn't it?
It was very confusing, but he would have voted in favor of gay marriage.
Right.
If,
somebody had sat him down and talked to him, or gave him some solid talking points.
And he goes, there was many a time where I would be walking down the street and they would stop someone white to talk about Prophet. He goes, but they never would talk to me about it.
That was one of the huge critiques about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay, so did both those films screen at Outfest?
yes.
They did.
Yes,
okay.
they did.
And so you're here.
Yes, and which was Steve won for Best Story.
Did it? Of course it did. It's a lovely film. It's very provocative and funny and so you're here year 3, 4.
So now my third film, which I'm the producer of, is Mississippi Damned, which was written and directed by Tina Mabry, who you should talk to, not me.
You're just a producer.
I'm just a producer. She's the talent. I'm just a producer. Talk to Tina.
So can you work it out so I can meet Tina? So we can talk?
You can meet Tina. Mississippi Damned is based on a true story of her life, and it's just an amazing film, and I just was so blessed to be a friend of Tina and Morgan, who's the other producer, and be a part of the film. So yeah, it was a great experience. Talk to Tina.
We'll talk to Tina. We'll get to talk. So Debra, thank you for talking to us.
Well, thank you.
Yay.